Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar. We'll run through the UKV, have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days, and then we'll have a look at the mid to long range, look at the GFS, GM, ECMWF and the ensembles as we head into the second half of September. Now, we have been looking at some very variable conditions within the UK over the next couple of days or the next week or so, and that is expected during autumn, but it could be quite a shock to the system for many. We could be seeing some very warm upper air temperatures in the next day or so, with temperatures at the surface potentially reaching 25 degrees. But by the end of this working week into the weekend, we could actually be going into a very chilly, proper cold air mass for the autumn coming in from the north, and we could see upper air temperatures dropping as low as 0 degrees or lower than that in the north, and that would allow temperatures to fall to around freezing perhaps for some areas overnight, and widely mid-single digits. So really chilly, something we haven't seen in a while, and the daytime temperatures won't be too cold, perhaps mid-teens at best, but even though on the thermometer that doesn't sound too bad, there will be a little bit of a nip to the air. So yes, later this week we are going to be seeing some chillier conditions after some warmer conditions at the start of the week. So there's going to be some very variable conditions. So one day this week you may be out in t-shirt and shorts, and a couple of days later could be having the coats back out again. So I'll have a look at what the UKV is showing, and then we'll go through the pressure charts as well. So look at the middle and long range, seeing what's happening after that, as there is hints of the higher pressure that is bringing that northerly wind to topple and potentially give us some more settled and drier weather. So, do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure to like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now, if you look on the live radar, you can see there is precipitation pushing into the west. Now, this area of rain, weather front here, is pushing northwards and eastwards. So many areas from Wales, southwest England, northern England and Scotland is going to see this. Central England, southern England and eastern England look likely to escape it, but not its full effects. We will still see some cloud here, and perhaps later in the day today, maybe into tomorrow, we could see some patchy rain here or there, but I'm expecting the heaviest precipitation to be in the north as this spreads in northeastward. So quite a soaking for these areas. Hopefully, though, I am recording this around 11 a.m, so hopefully by the time you're seeing this around 3-4 p.m, this rain has held off in some eastern areas, so we can still have a relatively decent day. But there still should be some decent days around this week. There will be plenty of drier weather, but there also will be some heavy rain, maybe some showers and thunderstorms potentially isolated in the south. So yeah, this will be spreading in, and if we do have a look at the temperatures, you can see at the moment, just before 11 a.m, it's not too bad. Temperatures around the mid-teens, maybe rising to as high as 21, 22 in a few areas. So pretty warm for this time of year, and it could rise, as I said, further over the next couple of days before dropping considerably next week. Now, one thing we have to remember is, of course, where we have the cloud and the rain, it is going to be considerably cooler, perhaps only 10-12 degrees or so under the rain. So if you are seeing this heavy rain this afternoon, you can actually see your peak temperatures around 10-11 a.m. this morning, really. So do make sure, even though it might feel all right now, it can actually get colder in the afternoon when the cloud and rain does spill in. So if you have got any plans today going out or whatever, do make sure you do have a coat or whatever if you are in the area which it could see the rain, as we'll have a look at the UKV now. So do go over to the UKV and look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days or so. If you do continue to move through, you can see that precipitation heading northwards and eastwards, impacting many areas around 3-4 p.m. And as I said, northern England and Scotland, the biggest impact area. But areas further southwards could still see thicker cloud and a few patchy showers here or there. Through this evening, that rain is clearing eastwards out to the North Sea, but still some lingering rain across northwest England and northern Wales, and eventually it will spread potentially through southern and eastern areas for a time, a little bit of precipitation there just before sunrise. Hopefully we'll miss the morning rush hour, and again we will still have a bit of precipitation across the northwest as the weather front does linger, the bit of included front behind it. Now beyond that, through Monday evening, we see that cloud does dissipate a bit. We see some dry weather, but also we have that very warm air mass in the south could collide, and we could see some heavy thundery showers potentially on the south coast. Again, we are seeing this cropping up in the UKV quite a lot, but it all depends on its positioning. If it stays 10, 20 miles offshore, then there's no issues. You might get a nice view of some lightning out across the channel, but if it does come inland, there we could see some issues, because it looks likely wherever these do position themselves, they could stall for many hours. So if we did see some very heavy rain just stall just inland, we could see a lot of rain falling in a short space of time. So it is something you need to keep an eye on for Tuesday night into Wednesday. Again, if this impact continues like this, perhaps verifies a little bit more, then we'll start to have a look at some other short range models looking at the potential for this. After that rain does move away to the south and we go a bit drier, but that's because we've got a northerly wind pushing in, a bit of precipitation pushing southwards ahead of a cold front, and we will have some showers around, but the air mass from the north is reasonably dry, so I'm not expecting too many heavy showers or so. So, if we have a look at those upper air temperatures, you can see earlier this week, around Monday, Tuesday time, look at that, 16 degrees at Aindrift HPA in the south, incredibly warm, but compare it to the end of the week, by Friday, only 4 or 5 degrees in the south and freezing, if not below freezing in the north at 850 HPA. Surface conditions was good 10 to 15 degrees warmer than this, remember, in the daytime. So yeah, we will be seeing a much colder air mass move in, and you can see that from the dew points. You look earlier this week, look at those dew points, perhaps getting towards 17, 18 degrees, quite a warm, humid air mass in the south. Later this week, look at those dew points dropping only around 3 or 4 degrees in the north, and by Friday in the south, only 9 or 10, and it will be getting a lot colder than that. I'm expecting dew points potentially drop to around 3 or 4 degrees once that cooler northerly airflow completely spreads through the country. So much drier, colder air mass. Now, I've finished by having a look at the upper air temperatures from this UKV run. You can see today, widely 21, 22 degrees, but that is in central, eastern, southern England, where we avoid the heavy precipitation. Wherever we see that heavy precipitation, it will cool the temperatures down considerably, but some areas here may not see the heavy precipitation. The UKV may forecast it here, so it could actually be slightly warmer in a few places. Beyond that, as we head through to Monday afternoon, you can see those temperatures once again very warm in the south, where we have that very hot, humid air mass, maybe 24, 25 or 26 degrees there. Really quite nice indeed. And as we head through to Tuesday, again, you can see those temperatures potentially still 21, 22, but slowly starting to cool down. And by Wednesday, you can see those temperatures still warm, 22, 23 in the south, but that area of warmth is decreasing in size, maybe mid-teens, maybe low teens, high teens, further northwards. And by Thursday afternoon, still maybe hanging on to 20 degrees in the far south and east, but more widely mid to high teens. And overnight into Friday, you can see 10, 11, 12 degrees in the south, not too cold, but starting to get much chillier in the north. It'll be very interesting to see the update for the UKV tomorrow, having a look at what those temperatures will be on Friday and Friday night, as it does look likely it will be quite chilly indeed. Perhaps Friday max temperatures only really 14, 15 degrees, and maybe those overnight temperatures getting down to the mid to low single digits. Now, if we do have a look at the GFS, have a look at the mid to long range, see what's going on with that. Again, you can see we are sort of in between systems, so that low pressure spreading to our east, but that low pressure still out to our west. Weather fronts trying to push in, and that squeeze is bringing that heavier rain later, or today and later today as well. Beyond that, though, the high pressure is out in the Atlantic, and we see a northerly wind later this week after a temporary southerly push over the next day or so. That's when we see this really chilly air mass move in. And we have a look at those upper air temperatures, really quite cold. But compared to earlier this week, 15 degrees at 850 HPA, all the way down to 0 degrees. And you can see it's through Friday afternoon to Saturday we see the chilliest air mass. And again, look at that potential equivalent temperature. That's really quite cold. Again, showing the temperatures a little bit better there. Some nice blues getting through there. Look at the temperature deviation. Some darker blues, 4 to 6 degrees, potentially below average. Moving in, really quite chilly indeed. So yeah, very interesting seeing that. And again, if we do go to the United Kingdom, have a look at those dew points again. You can look at that. By Saturday or Friday midnight, you can see around 1 or 2 degree dew points during central England and Scotland. That is really quite chilly. Remember, 0 degree dew points is needed for snow. Now, we're not seeing any snow with this, of course. There's 0 chance of that. But we're just showing you how cold the air mass and where it's originating from. And those 2 meter temperatures, look at that. It's dropping down to mid to low single digits. And again, if we actually have a look at that, at 6 a.m. on Saturday, really chilly. If you're getting up early on Saturday, maybe only 2, 3, 4 degrees for some, maybe best 6 or 7 maybe 8 degrees. So yeah, real chilly next Saturday morning incoming. Now, if you move beyond that, have a look at what's happening after that. Again, the high pressure does topple. That's the good thing about this. High pressure does topple. Only unfortunate thing is the air mass is originally quite chilly, so we could still see some very cold days through Sunday maybe, even though those upper air temperatures are recovering because the surface will still be quite chilly. However, we do see generally warmer air masses beyond that, but weather fronts try to push in right at the end. But it is right in the extended range, so it is very uncertain. So I do suspect high pressure will build in from around day 7 to day 10. After that, don't really know what's going to be happening, really. Weather fronts trying to push in, but of course we've still got more Atlantic systems, ex-hurricanes, that can really spin up the Atlantic. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Now, if you compare it to the GM, see what that is showing today. Again, low pressure pushing through at the moment, but high pressure holding out the Atlantic, pulling in a northerly wind, really quite chilly, quite tight isobars there. And look at that, really cold air mass. Look at the temperature deviation. Look at good 4 to 6 degrees below average by midday, and it is going to be chilly indeed. You look at the dew points there. Again, low single digits, the 2 meter temperatures. This is at midday, only 14, 15 degrees max, maybe 17 degrees across the far south coast, low teens further northwards. Look at midnight on Saturday, only 6, 7, 8 degrees. And again, you wake up a little bit later than that, around 6 a.m., maybe even 9 a.m. 9 a.m. recovers, but 6 a.m., 5 or 6 degrees, really quite chilly. So daytime temperature is not going to be too bad. You can see by Saturday afternoon, maybe 14, 15, 16 degrees at best, which doesn't sound too bad on the thermometer. But it is going to be nippy. It's going to feel pretty chilly indeed, and those overnight temperatures are going to drop to around 5, 6 degrees, and locally even cooler than that. And if we do go back to the European outlook and have a look what's beyond that, you see the high pressure does topple, and on this GM run today, the high pressure just stays in control. The upper air temperatures actually do recover, so it might not be too bad at the surface. Again, if we have a look at those 2 meter temperatures though, at the surface, you can see in the day it will recover, but at night still could be quite chilly. Mid to high single digits, and it's because daytime is getting shorter, nighttime is getting longer. The temperatures at the upper air temperatures are still warm, but the surface we are considerably cooling down as the sun strength reduces, and it does mean those overnight temperatures are going to really take a hit over the next couple of weeks with higher pressure involved. Could see a bit of an inversion going on, so yeah, we have to keep an eye on that. Even though on the upper air temperatures it doesn't look too bad, it could still be chilly. Not quite as cold as later this week with the actual cold polar air mass, but even with a warmer air mass, it could still be chilly at times, especially overnight. Now, after you finish, have a look at the ECMWF, and then we'll finish on the ensembles again. You can see low pressure pushing in, that northerly flow coming in. Again, look at the temperature deviation, good 4 to 6 degrees below average. The upper air temperatures, you can see it getting down to around freezing. And then high pressure does topple in, and at day 10, high pressure getting pushed to our east, but it still is control. Could pull up a bit of a southerly wind there, so it could actually turn a lot warmer. So that is something we do need to keep an eye on. But for the time being, all 3 runs up until day 10 have this northerly wind pushing in around day 5, day 6, and then a high pressure system toppling in. If you finish by having a look at the ensembles, see what that is showing today. You can see that we are going to be going quite warm over the next day or so. Look at that, 15 degrees at 850 HPA potentially, but then a massive drop around 15 degrees, down from 15 degrees down to around freezing by later this week. And it's going to stay pretty chilly for a number of days here from the ensemble members. The operational run recovers within a day or two, but many keep it colder for another day or two around to next Monday or Tuesday time. So quite a chilly little spell going here, but the big thing is it's going to be quite dry. And the longer term generally recovering to around average. So big flip-flops this week. Again, look at those dew points for around 12, 14 degrees to around 2 or 3 or maybe 4 degrees dew points. So very cold, dry air mass moving in from the north. Sea level pressure, you can see it is building. So around a week's time, we're going to be firmly under proper high pressure again. And if we have a look at those 2 meter temperatures, you see it dropping considerably. Max temperatures, maybe 15, 16 degrees in the day, and to around 8 or 9 degrees at night. And of course, these are ensemble members. They're only locally, they're only sort of low resolution, so locally it could be even chillier than that. If we do look at the ECMWF Ensembles, again, warm over the next day or so, up to 15 degrees 850 HPA, and then dropping all the way down to around freezing 850 HPA in around 5, 6, 7 days' time. Really quite chilly indeed before recovering. Again, looking very dry, maybe some precipitation in the next couple of days with those maybe heavy showers and storms in the south through Monday and Tuesday into Wednesday, but it does look generally quite dry this week. Warm initially, maybe 25 degrees in the south. Before the end of the week, into the weekend, is looking a lot chillier and potentially a lot colder as well. So make sure you do have those coats to hand. I don't think it's hats or gloves weather, unless maybe you're in the north of Scotland where you could be waking up to a frost and some freezing temperatures initially very early in the morning. But it will be turning cooler, and it could be a real shock to the system, even though these thermometer temperatures don't sound too bad, really. Just compared to what we've had over the last 3 or 4 months, it is really quite chilly indeed. So anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you do enjoy the warm weather we have the next day or two, and make sure you do take the necessary precaution for the cold weather later this weekend. It's not ridiculously cold, but it will be a shock. You don't want to be in hats and so I want to be in shorts and a t-shirt out there later this week. So yeah, do make sure you do dress appropriately and do keep an eye on the forecast. But I'll see you again for another video soon.